Kell has come to social media admitting that he is struggling with retirement. He's seeking help for mental health problems, and he has obviously issued an apology to anybody that the video has upset. The question that obviously then comes off the back of that, when you see a fighter, a retired fighter that is open and honest with the struggles that he is facing now in retirement after his career has ended, the question is, does boxing need better aftercare? Now, I think there's two elements to this, Gareth, because obviously we've got fighters, and a large percentage of them, 90%, 95%, that when they do retire, when they do call time on the game, they haven't got the amount of money, the financial needs to be able to, go and live on a beach and go and enjoy the fantastic career that they had and go and enjoy a new life. They often have to look for new incomes, new careers, and various things like that. So there's that element of this, support from a financial point of view. I don't think Kell's in that boat because he's made an awful amount of cash, and to my knowledge, he's invested well and he still has that cash. But there is the element of finding that secondary purpose. Ricky Hatton speaks about it very openly and obviously went down a different route to try and create the highs that he once had in front of all those fantastic fans. Tyson Fury is very fearful of it. And that is why he openly admits that he came out. Well, he said he retired and then came out of retirement last year. And obviously now we're experiencing it with Kell Brook. It happens time and time again where sports stars, not just boxers, but sports stars that have been at the top, have listened to the fans, the 20,000s, the 30,000s, the stadiums, sing their name. And then when all that noise stops, it can become a very, very lonely place.
Do you know what's weird, Ed, is that I reached out to Kell Brook this week and he's changed his number, but I know his mum and dad, Terry and Julie. I know them very well. I've sent them messages. I'm hoping Terry gets back to me tonight because my understanding is that Kell is with his mum and dad. I reached out to Dominic Ingle as well. He's hoping that Kell's going to get back in the gym with him next week. 2 years ago to the very day, right? What is it, February the 4th today?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. February the 4th, 2020, in the Telegraph, I did an interview with Kell Brook when he talked about his depression. And he's so low, he says, I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff and I'm there for days and days. Days and days pass by. I'm quoting him now. Can't go home, can't be around my kids, don't know where I am. And, when he came back for the Amir Khan fight, that kind of awakened him again. And there's a couple of things here as well. I did the retirement piece with him last year. We had it on talkSPORT as well. He'd reached out and said, I'm done after he beat Amir Khan, that wonderful night we were up there in Manchester. A great night. And I had a feeling then that he might need boxing to help him come back again. It's good that he's speaking out about it. Obviously, he was snorting some white powder in that video, which has heralded all of this, as you say. But I don't think he needs to apologise to anyone, by the way. I don't know why he was apologising in the tweet, because, we all go through dark times. When I reached out to him this week, it was nothing to do with work. I mean, if he'd wanted to talk to me on the record, fine, but just wanted to know how and where he was. The big thing in this, as you kind of alluded to at the very start, we need some kind of boxers union with the clever guys who know how to deal with people who are wise in the world, where boxers pay a small stipend every time they fight, and whether that's aligned to the Boxing Board of Control and the sanctioning bodies, I don't know. But we need an aftercare service for boxers, and I think it has to come in a union, like Professional Football Association has a union. They can rely on people who are very good at pastoral care, get involved in it, whether they be footballers or officials or people in suits and blazers. But I really think we need it in boxing. It's a very, very tough business, and I do think we've reached a point in the world where, yes, it's a primeval sport, Ed, and we love the visceral nature of this sport and the narrative of fighters. We talk about where they come from. We need to know where they go as well afterwards, in my view.
I think that's a beautiful line, and that is absolutely my sentiments as well. I think, and I don't think I'm doing a disservice or being derogatory to any fighter. A lot of people that come into this game, obviously they've got elite talent, but a lot of it comes down to lack of choice. They are fighters purely by nature. They use fighting in order to better their lives, and therefore school and academics aren't necessarily at the forefront of younger lives. That I'm generalizing there. That's not for everybody. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, Joyce, for example, has got a Bachelor of Arts degree, hasn't he? But on a wider scale, that is 9 times out of 10 the case. So what I believe needs to come in is, like you've just said, that pastoral care, that just a place that can point people in the direction of what they want to do next. It might not necessarily be within boxing. It might be something book deals, media things, training, coaching, all these types of things where people, it seems at the moment, where fighters finish their career, we pat them on the back and say, thanks a lot, mate, wicked, and that's it. We forget about them. Yeah. Rather than say, okay, right, you're coming to the end of your career. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? What we're going to be doing next? Are we going to be doing this? Because you might have 5 to 10 million quid in the bank, but at 36 years of age, that's a long period of your life doing nothing, isn't it? You need to be active. These people have been used to getting up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and with a purpose. We all need purpose in life, and I just think boxing can help those people try and find what that purpose is in their secondary careers.
Yeah, and I think what happens is when you're very prominent and when you have a reason and when you have a purpose, we've all got demons. Show me someone that doesn't have demons. If people say they have no demons, I don't believe them. It's how we control those demons. And while our fighters are doing what they do best and physically getting all the endorphins from training, and you know, we all know we're all learning. And mental health is talked about a lot in life now in society, certainly in our society, in the first world. You know, and it's a first world problem, I think. But the talk of exercise and allowing your body its freedom and having that freedom of not being stuck in a chair at work or whatever it is, the fighters live a very physical life. And I think, I mean, I was listening to statistics the other day about, I think 30% of people to our cause. You know, boxing is a very working class sport. Elliot Wursell wrote a great piece in Boxing News this week, by the way. He's a fantastic intellectual on fight sports, saying how when Liam Smith made those homophobic slurs at Chris Eubank Jr. the other day, it was disappointing to see, but it's the sport. We have to accept that the sport is learning. Football's like that. It's a sport that's learning about society. Society reacts to it. And denigrates it, and things that our fighters do sometimes bring the sport down. I'm not trying to bring Liam down. It was a fantastic performance, but we didn't appreciate that, nor did we appreciate Chris Eubank Jr. saying, "Oh, you cheat on your wife," or accusing him and alleging of that. It's nothing to do with boxing, and it was very puerile at the time, but it's just where they were. They're not educated to be like that. 30% of young men leave secondary education without GCSEs in maths and English. You know, many of those are our boxers. They're physical people. Many with things like ADHD and Asperger's and all sorts of things. And I think, you know, Kell has got a party problem, and you know, he's bored. He's not getting those endorphins from, and he's always been like that. We know he's been a party animal in his life. He's been through a machete attack, remember? He's been through extraordinary times. And you know, to quote him again, when he lost those 2 fights to Errol Spence and Gennady Golovkin, it ruined me. It was dark, a very dark time. I needed counsellors. Words can't describe how low I've been. I can't think about what to do. I'm that far gone when I've felt like this. I'm that lost. My mind doesn't think about time, about any of the positives around me in life. That's where he is right now. He needs to get back in the gym, needs counselling. I'm glad he's with his mum and dad. That's what I hear, Terry and Julie. And I just hope he gets back. And do you know what? I hope he gets back and boxes again.
Yeah, listen, as long as the matchup is right for him, I don't want him, you know, in there.
Liam Smith? Himself. Liam Smith? Do you buy that?
To be fair, to an extent, yeah. To an extent, I think Liam and Kell are probably at very similar stages, aren't they, in life? Former world champions. Yeah, I can see that. But
Conor Benn?
First and foremost, stop it now. Stop it. You know where I'm at with Conor at the moment. Regarding Kell, first and foremost, I want him to just get right with the way that he thinks about himself.
Yeah.
I want him to get healthy and happy mentally, and then, of course, have the discussion about fighting again and doing something within the game. Of course, that is an open discussion. But first and foremost, sometimes when you hit rock bottom, and this hopefully is rock bottom for him, when this now has been made public and people are obviously having an opinion on that, and that's obviously not a nice feeling for him. It might be the catalyst that he needs, Gareth. Hiding behind closed doors and doing it behind closed doors and all this type of thing. You can get away with it and get away with it and get away with it, and you can lie to yourself. Can't lie to himself now. It's out there. People know.
Yeah.
So therefore, this could be the catalyst for him making some serious positive change, whether it be the social circles that he's keeping, and also from a health point of view, because we don't want to see him on that. So let's get him. Hopefully, he can make those changes and move forward now.